No problem. Okay, let me get your thoughts on the first news that I brought up, and that's the case of looking at the transfer window at the moment. As in, look at what we have done so far. Let's assume that Eucharist comes in. Our current transfer window so far, compared with Liverpool. Liverpool just agreed deal with Ekitike at Ekitike recently, taking the spending of Liverpool to over 300 million British pound. Compared with Arsenal, compared with Man City, Big Luke, I want to ask you, what is going through your mind right now? Are you worried? What's going through your mind right now?
I think like when I'm looking at the transfer windows, to be real with you, if we get Gokares, I'll probably say the transfer window and we don't sign anyone else, I'll probably say the transfer window is probably be like a 6.5 out of 10. Because yes, we got the strike, which was the main thing we needed, but obviously when I now look on the other things in our attack, we left ourselves a bit short. And at the same time, if obviously it's this guy who's going to be starting on our left wing, Nani, then regardless, Arteta better make sure that he wins something, win the league or Champions. He better make it work. Otherwise, if he doesn't, then there's going to be serious question mark. There's going to be serious question marks. But
okay,
I feel like even in the terms of left wingers, I really feel like the quality left wingers available are not. They're not easy accessible like outside of Rodrigo or Lookman. And I don't understand people saying this whole thing of Kudus because of saying, oh, Arsenal could have gone for Kudus. Like no one was gonna pay 80 million for Kudus. Like, let's just be real. West Ham were never getting 80 million. Like Kudus,
we know that. We know that.
Kudus may be a good player, but the one thing I would say about Kudus is I just don't think he has good end products. Like, and that's not far-fetched or wrong to say. Am I wrong for saying that?
No.
Yeah, like
You're not wrong. He only had one good season. He only had one good season.
But people don't want to acknowledge that. And when I've said to people that, oh, like there's better players than him, they can go for out there. When I now mention people like Lukeman, people now bring up the fact that when Lukeman was in the Premier League, he didn't do that well. People try to compare Lukeman at the same age as Kudus to the Kudus of now. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what kind of how do people stoop down to like next levels of stupidity? Because if we're comparing Kudus and Lookman, we're talking about Kudus of now and Lookman of now. Do you get what I mean? Because I really feel like I personally speaking, I don't mind getting players from outside of this league in order to reinforce Arsenal's attack. Because one thing I've seen with a lot of fans is this whole Prem proven thing. I just think it's a myth. Because when you look at the Premier League, a lot of the players that have done well in the Premier League are foreigners. And people just need to accept that.
Bigu, the question I want to ask you is this. I said, looking at the windows we have at the moment, like compared to Liverpool City, are you still expecting us to win the league despite the business done by Liverpool?
I'm expecting us to challenge and to at least win something. Like, obviously, I know Gokres is going to be a done deal. I know that one's a bit difficult to get over the line because, you know, the Sporting Lisbon, they're a difficult club to deal with. Like, there's certain clubs that are just difficult to negotiate with and getting deals down the line, especially with how certain clubs move. Like, teams like Sporting, they're difficult to negotiate with and get business done with. Same thing with clubs like Napoli. But I still expect Arsenal need to find a way to win the league or the Champions League. But I think Arsenal should.
Yeah. Go on.
Because the thing is, it's been way too long, like without like a silverware, and Arsenal need to try and they need to win some they need to win something. They can't just go another year with no silverware because I think maybe if I think Arsenal need to try and challenge for the league. They need to make sure they're within touching distance, challenging. And I think they need to like I think they should also should go for the Champions League to win that. Because Champions
Now,
League is a
my
knockout.
issue now with this here, my issue now is with this is now look at the upwards of Chelsea. Do you think Chelsea will challenge this season?
You mean in the league?
Yeah, yeah. They've just won the Club World Cup. They've said PSG.
Yeah,
Do you think they will challenge?
they might be there, but I'm not quite sure they will challenge. Like maybe they might challenge a bit longer, like than last season in terms of maybe they might challenge all the way up to February or March, and then they'll fall off then. Because the reason I say that is because Chelsea do not have a solid central defensive pairing, and also their goalkeeper. I'm not quite sure that he's a top keeper who can be consistent for 38 games in a season. I'm not convinced by Sanchez. I'm still not convinced by Sanchez, despite the fact that he did well against
I'm not talking
PSG.
about winning now. I said, can they challenge? Can they really challenge?
Okay. Challenge. I'm not quite sure they can challenge when they don't have a good keeper. Like if I'm being real, I'm not quite sure because you need to challenge. Like you need to at least have a decent keeper. You can't be having a goalkeeper who's going to be making a lot of mistakes and then you'll be dropping a lot of points.
Okay, okay. Now let me pick you up on this one. Are you worried about Chelsea? Like, are you worried about them at all? Do you think their chances affects Arsenal in any way, or who amongst the top three do you think affects Arsenal right now with the way they are moving in the market? All the big three, United,
I think it's I think it's
Chelsea.
I think it's Liverpool.
Liverpool are league
Um,
winners already. They are the league winners already.
yeah, but a ball's not been kicked. Like the transfer window is still open. Anything can change. Like a ball's not even been kicked, so I can't. I'm not gonna say they've won it when like the season's not even started. Maybe you could say maybe the chance of winning it of retaining it are higher, but they've not the a ball's not been kicked. Like we still need to see what Arsenal do in the transfer window. Obviously, I think City have a bit more to do than Arsenal because of the fact that they need a right back. Obviously, there's question marks over Edison now because obviously Edison is sort of started making mistakes for them, and obviously they have
Um,
issues, and obviously they have issues with trying to get a homegrown quota because like they can't. I don't think they can get any more foreign players get till they get more. So they get rid of like some of their players that are not like not born like who are foreign like the non-homegrown players because they need more homegrown players in their team.
the issue is that, but don't you think they are properly stacked? Because the way Chelsea is stacked at the moment, and again, you're also downplaying City.
I,
What about City?
I'm not, I'm not,
City
I'm
has
not, I'm not,
actually
I'm not
spent
saying, I'm
money.
not City. I mean, City, they're stacked, but the thing is, I think I'm not sure if they're up for a rebuild. Like they will challenge, but I'm not sure if they're up for a rebuild based on the fact that they like even from the tactics that Guardiola is doing, and obviously his management. I'm not quite sure because obviously he's still using old players rather than using the players like he's bored and he's like and using the younger players. He's still using like the players like the older players so where some of them they can't play a full 90 minutes and they're past their best.
Okay. On that, then also let me get your total take on Arteta now. What is your total take on Arteta now?
From what I've actually seen reports coming out that okay, he said that the squad is short in depth. I need more quality, and this, that, and the other. So now I think yes, he's made some mistakes, but now I'm seeing that it's becoming clearer that he's indirectly telling the owners, back me, that I need more money, I need more players, I need more bodies, more quality. Because now I'm seeing reports and I'm now seeing it's becoming obvious he needs more quality.
Course, he needs more. Of course, he needs more quality, and I know that he needs quality. And I used to tell you, I said, I feel we need more. Look at what Chelsea had. Even though you keep, laughing at them that they are, they are spending £1 billion, £2 billion, but they are getting. Look at the depth they have in attack. What killed us last year was the fact that we had some players out, and those were problems.
Yeah, I get the fact that you're saying look at what Chelsea have in attack, but the issue is not all of them are like you know quality where, for example, not all of them will make a difference straight away. Like, I'm not sure if apart from Cole Palmer, I'm not sure if, like, on the left, that Jamie Gittins, I just think he's a project player. Like, I don't look at him like someone that scares me much, because like Jamie Gittins, he might be. I think he's highly talented from what I've heard of him, but the thing is, he doesn't really have that end product yet. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm good. I can hear you. I can hear
Yeah,
you.
I
I'm
think
good.
with Jamie Gittins, he doesn't have that end product yet, even though he's um he's good skillfully and whatnot. I think that Esteval, I've yet to watch him play, so obviously, I need to see him play. I think does he play on the left? Esteval. Esteval.
He hasn't joined them yet. He hasn't joined them yet.
Well, I thought. Wait. And he plays on the left wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about him. Okay, they have him. Then I have Jamie Gittins. I think on the left it might be Chelsea's weakness, the left wing. I think on the right they've got, is it Pedro Neto and Cole Palmer?
Exactly. They've got Kopama. And let me put
Wait,
you on
so
the
so
coach.
so
Let me
so
put you on the
so
coach.
so 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 who's the attacking midfielder? Enzo Fernandez.
I guess they
Yeah,
are
Cole
going to
Palmer.
find someone to. They are going to find someone. Maybe Kopama will switch, and they will find a way. They will find their way around it.
Because my thing with Chelsea is, I just think that their central defense is weak. I think the central defense is not particularly impressive. I don't. Yes, it might be improved, but I still think they need another centre back who's quality. And
Let
I
me ask
think,
you, Big Group this. Let me ask you this. You're an Arsenal fan, and we're talking about Chelsea now because I'm worried about. I wouldn't tell you that I'm worried about Chelsea because I think the £1 billion they are spending now is beginning to reflect on the club, just like you are saying, Cole Palmer, Bukayo Saka, Cole Palmer. This comparison has been on for a very long time. Let me ask you. Let me show it to you personally now. Do you think who do you think is on a higher level, Cole Palmer or Bukayo Saka?
I might have to say Cole Palmer, to be fair.
Really,
Yeah,
really.
it looks like it's Cole Palmer, to be fair, because it looks like Cole Palmer's having a bigger impact in games in terms of getting his team over the line.
You're always tending to lean towards anybody that wins a trophy, and that's what the whole football thing
Yeah,
has
but
gotten
yeah,
into. But okay, take for
yeah, but
example,
yeah,
hold
yeah.
on. We were both having a conversation concerning Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger was winning trophies, he was finishing fourth, and we Arsenal fans chastised him for doing that. and now we are asking for the same thing. That is the same thing you are asking for now, Big Group. You're saying that if he wins the trophy, you're good to go. We now, and that was what we were doing before, and we all chased Wenger for it. So explain yourself and define this.
Yeah, but you're forgetting during the time when Wenger was winning FA Cups, you're forgetting we were not spending as much money then compared to now. Look at how much money we're spending then under Wenger, and look at how much money we're spending now. We weren't spending as much money. And remember, like Wenger had us like I think he had us during that time when we were winning FA Cups. Was it like three like two out three FA Cups in what do you call it? In like in like I think four or three seasons. Like Arsenal were not spending a lot of money, and Arteta and Wenger was still getting the most out of what he had. So you have to give Wenger credit for that, especially when you factor in Wenger wasn't backed, and he did the best he could with not much backing. And you have to understand Arteta has been backed more than people like Wenger. Wenger like had never got the backing of Arteta. He never got like 700 and something million given to him across 5 seasons. If Wenger had gotten that, like who knows what he would have achieved.
Yeah, you if but maybe, but basically, as Wenger prepared what we have now, when as Wenger said, he said he deprived himself of that because he wanted to build what we have now. And to me, I feel like we cannot get worse. We cannot get worse than we are at the moment because now we have valuable players. Look at players fighting to come and play for us now. So we are in a better place now, and that's why I'm telling you. But the only thing is that I'm telling you that we'll win a trophy this season. I know we will win a trophy, but I am not. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to celebrate the trophy.
I think we'll win something, but I think it might be a domestic cup. I think a domestic cup. I think a domestic cup looks more likely, and I could see a situation where we get to the Champions League final.
Big group, let me tell you something. I will celebrate. Let me tell you, hear me now. I'm going to celebrate shamelessly, even if we win the Carling Cup or we win whatever trophy. I'm going to be shameless.
Now the Carling Cup, I will take that because we've not won the Carling Cup since George Graham era, since 1993.
No, since ever. So I'm going to celebrate it shamelessly.
I've never seen Arsenal win a Carabao Cup. I need to see that. I will take a Carabao Cup. And I think.
But one thing I want to tell you, Big Group.
I think in the Champions League this year, you know what? In the Champions League, I think we might get more luck on our side in the Champions League. We could shockingly get to the final in Champions League.
Of course, I know that. But what I'm trying to tell you, Big Group, is this.
When you look at the past 2 seasons under Arteta in the Champions League, would you say that we've gotten further each year, that Arteta's learning from his mistakes in the Champions League competition? Because each year we keep getting further in the Champions League.
Now, let me tell you something. I feel we keep getting better. We get better. We are getting better in the Champions League. Let me tell you, the major competitions, I think we are getting better. Because basically, look at the way we play in the league. We're getting better. Although we regressed a little bit in the league last season. But both the league and the Champions League, we've actually done well in the league and in the Champions League. I think the problem where Arteta shot himself in the leg was when he did not take the domestic cup seriously. So I will advise him to take all the trophies seriously, play a good team in everything, and try to get your hands on as many as possible. But and that's why I'm not castigating him for buying the likes of Noni Madueke, getting a lot of players. And that's what I'm telling you. We need to buy more. We need more. We need Rodrigo. We need Eze. We need it more.
I don't don't think we can get Rodrigo and Eze. I think we will get one of them.
Why not?
And obviously and Gokras. You're forgetting about outgoings. And remember, like obviously we have to pay there's release clauses when it comes to players. Like it's not like you're going to activate release clause for every single player. Like if we're gonna look at it like from a logical standpoint. And
I
I really I really see I really I really see even with like the fact that last season our squads was stretched to a bare minimum. Why is it that like even without the fact that even with Arsenal playing twice a week in Champions League, it's not really affected our league form. Whereas teams like Newcastle, when they've now played twice a week, it's affected them in the league massively. Even though we don't have an in-depth squad like that. How come it's affected
now
Newcastle, but it's not affected Arsenal to the extent of Newcastle?
because I personally believe this is because Arteta didn't really manage the team too badly. That's one thing I'm trying to tell you. You don't want to give him the credit that he actually managed that team a little bit wisely last season. Because that injury we had was much, even though we don't want to always, acknowledge it that those injuries were much, but the injury were much, Big Rook, honestly. We were like to the barest to the last, whereby we were asking,
Well,
you personally was asking for him to play Butler
I
with
think
AG.
I think we had the fourth most injuries. I checked the fourth most injury list because I think when I looked at the injury table, it looked like we had some players out for like maybe was it a couple months and then they'll come back and then I can't remember how many games missed by certain players, but maybe like 30 games missed by certain players. I don't know, like Odegaard, and then came back and all this sort of stuff.
Let me tell
But
you, let me
even
count
with
some players. Let me count some players that I feel like the injury actually riddled their season last season. For example, last season we didn't get Ben White. Last season we didn't get Odegaard to his best. He got to his best towards the end of the season. Gabriel Jesus was totally out. Tomiyasu was totally out. I'm talking about William Saliba. I'm talking about Gabriel Magalhaes. I'm talking about even what's his name? Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka was injured. Even Trossard was out for a couple of games, one or two. Let me tell you something. That injury, we are downplaying it, but I understand, but it's actually a problem. And that's what I feel that it affected us last season. And I just hope that we get a bit of luck this season. And I'm very sure we win something, but I want a major. Big Rook, I want a major. A major is the only thing that saves Arteta's job for me. A major is the only thing. If Arteta doesn't get a major, I am not interested. I don't want to have a conversation. If he doesn't win me the league or the Champions League, I really don't have a conversation. I'm done.
to be fair, he has to win. He has to win something. He can't just win nothing. I think if he wins something, that will sort of soften the blow. It will sort of soften the blow if he wins something because it's better than nothing. Yes, obviously you want more, but if he wins something, that will soften the blow. When I look at the Arsenal score, when I look at like the injuries and stuff like that, I don't really think you can controls when injuries happen because injuries are always going to happen. You just need to be able to sort of have a squad that can mitigate like obviously having a drop off when it comes to these injuries, like be finding a way to manage, like in terms of squad building.
Exactly. I get you. I know we can't
Yeah.
control the injury. That's why I'm praying that we don't get any this season. I
So
don't want
so
us to
so so
get too
so
many
because
this season.
because you know last season why we got so many, that was down to Arteta's lack of rotation. Because you know the first two
Because
years
there
he
was no players to
challenged.
rotate, big group. There was no player to rotate. There was no players to rotate. You were asking us to play Butler Oyedeji. Bro, you were telling us to play Butler or
Because
Yedeji.
the thing is, the guy's not played in the first team. He's never played. The guy's never. I've played a
That's how
single
thin we are. That
appearance,
was how that's how
and
thin
the
we were.
thing is, all I said was give him a chance because I haven't seen him play to see whether he's
Of
good or
course, I
not. Like
get you.
I said, just play him. Just play a traditional nine. Just give the person a chance. Give the person like a run-in of like maybe 4 to 5 games.
Do you know that boy you are asking us to give a chance now has left the club?
Yeah, I know he's left the club.
Exactly. Because I'm sure if he's good enough, he
Because
would
of
have
lack
gotten
of
a
game.
chance.
Because he wanted game time. He wanted game time.
When he came, anyway, for me personally, I personally thought we were riddled by injury last season, and I know that fans will tell us, let's say, I know fans will say we shouldn't mention it. It's part of football and the rest of them. See, I'm telling you, Big Rook, you can call me Arteta sexual. You can tell me I'm always backing Arteta, right? But I back all the managers that are Arsenal because when they are in, they are in. I can't get them out. I'm not the one who will get them out. And that's why I decided to throw my blames on the board because I believe the board has more, to like,
Yeah,
do more chores.
but you can't get the board out of the club. You can't get the board out of the club unless you go and
Eh,
unless you go and pro, unless you go and unless the government forces obviously a board out of a club or does something uh unless the government forces the board out of the club or they do a thing where, for example, you have how do I call it? What's that thing called? Unless like a buyer comes in, unless that or a buyer comes in and buys out a football club, you are not getting a lot of these billion rich owners out of a club because they look at what about getting a return on their assets. You
I
know
get
about hedge funds. You know about hedge funds.
I get
You
you. I
know
get
about
you.
hedge funds.
Yeah.
So I you really and
Go
truly
on, I get
Liverpool have American owners as well. One thing
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like you can
But
still be successful with American owners as long as you have competent sporting directors running the club. Like even our sporting director that we have, Andrea Berta, he knows what he's doing. If you look at what like journalists have said about him, such as Ben Jacobs, he's even said that that like that Berta knows what he's doing. He has his stance. He's firm. He's not like Edu who wastes time. He'll be negotiating like he'll be negotiating 2 deals at once for like a player in the same position and try and
yeah,
get
yeah.
like the best possible value. Like he knows what he's doing. If you look at Andreas Berta's record, only a few players out of the players he signed from Atletico Madrid were flops. Like this guy bought by Atletico Madrid. He flopped. What's his name? Cunha. But however, even this guy, Andrea Berta, acknowledges the fact that Cunha was sold a bit too soon and that he should have been given a bit more time. Like obviously his most successful signings like Atletico Madrid were in terms of attacking signings, it was this guy. In terms of attacking signings, it was Griezmann, Luis Suarez. Uh, I'm trying to think who else. I can't remember who which of the. I think Diego Costa to an extent, but like obviously after the after the Diego Costa's first season back at Atletico Madrid, his second and third 2 seasons, he started to like the players started to regress. But but with that being said, obviously those are some of like Andrea Berta's success signings. Obviously, there was another signing at Atletico Madrid who was a better signing who flopped. Thomas Lemar. Remember 2017 Lemar that we wanted? Yeah, Thomas Lemar. Like at the time, I think he flopped, and I think it was due to like a lot of injury problems. He was never fit. So yeah.
Yeah, quickly, I know you have to go now, but before you go, let me just ask you quickly. Are you watching the WAFCON, the Women African Cup of Nations, before we go? No, I want to just,
No,
I don't know if
no,
you're
I'm
following.
not watching it. No, I'm not watching it.
Honestly, please, please, and please, you need to support our girls. We are actually playing South Africa. So we'll be playing South Africa. We demolished Zambia 5 goals to 0, and they happen to be the strongest one
Wow.
in that tournament. And that's when I was arguing with you the other day. I said, for other African countries that used to come and think that they want to flex muscle with the Super Eagles or with the Super Falcons, we are like, footballing wise, we are better than them. And our girls are showing that we dismantled Zambia 5-0 with our best player, Aziza Oshoala, on the bench. He wasn't even there. Aziza did not even start the game, and we still won 5-0. And we will be playing against South Africa. But generally, what I wanted to say concerning that, I just want to know that right now, looking at the African Community, what do you think? How do you think? What do you think Super Eagles men, need to do to be able to be as dominant as our female? Because our dominant has won 9 out of
I think
13.
I think what they need to do is like play to their strengths and play with freedom. Know this, like not playing with this whole static or when you score a goal, retreating to your goal. Go for the kill. Like that's what like Moses Simon has been told from Chell. Like Chell has told the players, go for the kill. Go for the kill. Like he wants players fighting, pressing, and pressing, like fighting for the badge. He tells the players, go for the kill. So
Let me ask
when
you
you think of
from
when
the
you now think
from
about that,
outside looking
I
in. Let me ask you something quickly, please, before you go. So, from outside looking in, how are you feeling that the manager is? How do you think our manager is doing at the moment? Eric Sikuchel, how do you think he's doing at the moment? What do you see any improvement, even looking at it from out there?
I think I've seen improvements on our style of play. And obviously our style of play has become evident that it's attacking and possession football. But what he wants is consistent levels for like a full 90 minutes. Because it feels like we start games well, like in the first half, and then in the second half we start dropping off.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Eric Shelf, he's made it clear that he wants the defense needs to improve, and he said we're conceding too many goals. He said that's a headache. Yeah, and obviously, I think with Eric Shaw, I know he's quite flexible in his tactics because I know he won't just play the same formation, stick with the same formation throughout the full 90 minutes. Like he will change the formation, like
Yeah. He does that. Yeah,
during the match. So he could start off
Do
with
you
a
think?
4-4-2.
Yeah. Do you think he can win us this AFCON, or do you think he can make the World Cup?
With the World Cup, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure about that. Because even though we've got 4 matches left, if we now go and win 2 matches, then if we now go and win our next 2 matches, I'm going to sort of now have the belief, yeah, he's going to qualify us for the World Cup. If we now go and win and qualify matches, and then I think even with the AFCON, I think we're going into it as underdogs. I think we can. I think we're going into the AFCON as underdogs, like this coming AFCON, because it's like nobody knows what to expect from Nigeria, and I think that's gonna work in our favor because no one knows. Nobody no African team knows how they're gonna prepare against Nigeria because they're gonna think Nigeria's gonna play the same way as last AFCON, but they're not going to know in terms of tactics how they're going to
I,
set
I,
up unless they played us in the World Cup qualifiers or AFCON qualifiers, they're not going to know how they're going to, most AFCON nations are not going to know how they're going to set up against Nigeria, how they're going to stop Nigeria. They're not going to know that. So I think that's going to make us less predictable.
Uh, to get. I'm with you. Now, I don't think we are going into the AFCON as an underdog. We never go into AFCON as an underdog. It doesn't matter how weak Nigeria is. Everybody knows we are Nigeria, and we will always, even though it might look like that from out there, down here we know nobody ever takes Nigeria.
Yeah,
we
always,
always,
what about 2013? Were we expected to win the AFCON 12 years ago? When we won our third AFCON. That one was not expected. No one expected it.
No one expected it, but no one expected us to win it, but nobody expected us to do bad. Even though we went with a lot of home base, we are not expected
to
win.
And the thing is, do you think even with the time we won our second AFCON, were we favourites going into that tournament?
We were not. Nobody.
I mean,
we may not be the favorite, but we are amongst the favorites.
Were we the favourites to win that AFCON in 1994?
No. We were not favorites, but we were amongst the favorites. We were amongst the favorites.
Okay.
Because are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
We were not the favorite, but we were amongst the favorites. We are not the favorite, but we are amongst the favorites. And that the thing is that when we see that green and white flag, and that's why I used to tell you, when you say your friends who happens to be maybe from Congo or something, you see anybody from Africa, if you're not Senegal, and if you're not, even if you're not Senegal, if you're not Cameroon, you can't even chat to us.
I mean,
Morocco,
Morocco, Egypt. Like even with Cameroon, I just don't really. With some Camerooners, I don't like how the fact that they try and talk like they're miles better than us, because when I look at Cameroon, I don't really think there's a big gap in terms of like in between Nigeria and Cameroon in terms of like history. I don't really think like they've got like a bigger history where they achieved like something that is miles better than us. I don't think it's like a big gap. I think the gap is just small when you think about it.
There is no, at the moment, the only few, but even by the ranking, you can tell we are better than most. At least we are in the top 5. So
yeah, because
we are always in the top 5 almost every time. I think the farthest we have gone is top 10. The farthest we have gone, and there is never a time. And in fact, we have not gone more than top 5. We will be the 5.
Are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about in Africa. Yeah. In Africa.
Because the thing
we've never gone below top 5.
Yeah, because the thing is, one thing I always hear from a lot of Camerooners and Ghanaians in the World Cup is they'll say, "Oh, you've never gone to like all those vampire slayers." They'll say, "You've never gone to a quarterfinal. You've never gone to quarterfinals." But people forget the fact that like when I now hear that, I'm like, like that's the only measuring stick you can hit me with, because you've got nothing else to say. Like that's the only measuring, like they've only got that measuring stick, and like the past your past history where some of them have not won an AFCON in a long while. Like as in one of them is like some of them, like for example, Ghana will say, "Oh, they've won more AFCONs than us," but they forget that they've only won one more AFCON than us, and it's like the last AFCON Ghana won was back in the 80s, which obviously is a longer trophy drought than Nigeria.
Wait. Hold on. Did any Ghana wait? See, did any Ghana fan tell you they have won more AFCONs than us? Did any Ghana fan say that?
Yeah, because they've won like 4 AFCONs and Nigeria have 3. And I told them, okay, great. I told them, like, when was your last AFCON? and I told them down their longest trophy drought. I told them, how can you call yourself a big team and you're on the longest trophy drought? And I say that, and I also mentioned to them, you should never call yourself a powerhouse in world football, and you've never and your track record against big nations is so poor. Because when you look at Ghana in the World Cup against top nations, if you look at their record is abysmal. Like, it's shockingly bad, like very bad. Like, they've never beaten a top team in the World Cup. You know that.
Let me tell you. Yeah, no, they will claim they have gotten to the quarterfinals.
I told them until they beat a top team in the World Cup, do not talk. Like, do not talk, because when I look at their run into like the quarterfinals in 2010, I look at the teams they played in the round of 16. They beat like a team. They beat USA, and I don't congratulate them for beating the USA, because I said, you know what, you are expected to beat the USA. When you look at it, were they expected to beat the USA in that 2010 World Cup?
Of course. Yeah,
exactly.
See, let me tell you something. There are some teams.
My issue with them is that they try and act as underdogs, and then it's like they're almost now trying to say, now when you now try and tell them, go and do this, like they now try and act like, oh, they're trying to act like, oh, they're trying to act like all underdogs, and they don't. The thing is, it's kind of like they want to be praised, but it's like when you now tell them, go and win this or go and do X, Y, and Z, they now try and run away from expectations. And it's like you now think, okay, what is it that you want? Like, because it's like you can't have your cake and eat it. Like, the problem with that.
Let me tell you something. This is why they are
away from expectation. They don't like expectation. One thing I realized is their fans, they run away from pressure. They can't handle pressure.
That's why we call them our little bro. Why we call them our little bro? Because number one, go and check back all the AFCON they won. The teams in the AFCON then, I don't think they are up more than 10. They are not up to 10. When
I know
AFCON with the AFCON they won.
Competing back then.
Now, let me explain to you. Since then, they've not been able to compete, and they will always be our little bro. Let me tell you something. Do you know how pathetic their record has been? It has been terrible. So they cannot come here. Any challenge that comes to you and walks up to you, we are not their mates when it comes to football. We've evolved above them. We've evolved. We are better than Ghana when it comes to that. In everything, I'm serious. We're better than them at the moment with anything at the moment. I'm not talking about, but when it comes to sport-wise, Ghana is no match for us. Ghana is no match for us, honestly. They are no match for us.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Big Rook. Thank you so much for joining the show this afternoon. I've heard you for a very long time. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everybody, for watching. That's our football chat this afternoon. I actually decided to get Big Rook on the show this afternoon. Thank you, Big Rook, for joining. I appreciate you. Big up everybody that's watching. Don't forget to smash up the like, subscribe. I have to leave you guys here. Whenever this, I'll be leaving you with this. Whenever any Ghanaian come and tell you that you are that maybe you are this or you are that, tell them, Charlie, you'll be our little brother. Charlie, you'll be our little brother. Big up everybody for watching the show today. Don't forget to smash up the like. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Smash the like, subscribe. I will see you on the next live stream. I don't know when that's going to be. Whenever the next live stream is going to be, let me know. I will just join along and let me get your comment. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Smash the like, subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Peace, and I'm out.